get into shitting on Rob Liefeld, we got to give it up to the original guy who shit on Rob Liefeld, at least publicly. Back whenever Rob Liefeld was just like, he was at the top of his game. I mean, you know, for what that's worth, the top of his hill that the feet were hidden behind anyway. Rob Liefeld in the early 90s, he was a fucking rock star, man. Can't even fucking lie about that. He was a rock star. And here is a clip that I'd never really noticed the context. Like maybe I'd seen it before, I guess. Maybe I hadn't fully paid attention to it, but in this video, Stan Lee is straight up burning Rob Liefeld and Todd McFarlane for that matter. But yeah, check this out.
Explain our thinking on how we're coming across and why we're doing overkill the way
you
it
can
is.
think and draw at the same time.
Yeah, and especially if it's going to be overkill.
Like right out of the gate, holy shit, Stan. He said, you can think and draw at the same time. Just fucking, yeah. That's why Stan was the man right there. I mean, not really. It was really all the characters are created and stuff like that, and all of the, you know, carrying the torch for comics in general that he did for decades. That's why he was the man. But this is also why he's the man.
You can think and draw at the same time.
Yeah, and especially if it's going to be overkill.
So he's drawing the character of Overkill. Everybody knows Overkill, right? You know that character of Overkill that from the 90s that everybody, like, it was like just a instant classic and everybody loved it ever since. And everybody has like Overkill merchandise and movies and stuff have come out. You know about Overkill, right?
Equipment's got to be overkill as well.
Oh, heck yeah.
Always remember he's tough, but he's not violent.
Okay, along those lines, he's got the biggest shoulder pads ever existed. It's like
I figured he would.
Okay, I'm going to give him.
Did you catch that shit?
It's like
I figured he would.
He's got the biggest shoulder pads ever existed. It's like
I figured he would.
Okay, I'm going to give him some big knee pads here. Because a guy like him that's got some armor and got some guns and stuff like that is going to...
Boy, he looks grim, doesn't he?
Kids, you know, I mean, the kids like the dark, moody stuff. I mean,
they seem
you know,
to.
I mean,
But I have a question I've been wanting to ask you guys. How long does it take these people to get dressed?
Did they change his name? They changed his name, right? Or was it... What's the story with Overkill and Overkill? I remember that there was a change, and I remember thinking Overkill was already a dumbass kind of name. Okay, I'm going to be honest here. I'm going to be forthright. Originally, around this era, I thought Overkill was cool because I was a fucking 10-year-old boy. All right? Overkill was the coolest shit I'd ever seen. By the time I was like 12 or 13 years old, though, I had already been like, this is pretty stupid, you know? And that was about, I think, around the time that I realized that they had changed his name, maybe? Wasn't there also, didn't Bad Rock used to be Bedrock? Am I imagining that? Is that like a fucking a Mandela effect thing? I could have sworn that Bad Rock from Youngblood used to be called Bedrock. And did they change that for legal purposes as well? But Bedrock shouldn't be... Well, I mean, you know, Todd McFarlane said it too. I trust him over Rob. I'll say that. If anybody knows the history behind whether I'm even making this up or not, the Bedrock Bad Rock thing, let me know. Okay, he used to be called Bedrock. That's true. All right, good. Do you know the reason why they changed it? Was it like, because I would imagine it was like what Hanna-Barbera or whoever owns the fucking Flintstones sued him or something, right? Like. But I wouldn't think Bedrock is something you could trademark and as a I mean, I don't know. Bedrock is a word that exists. It's not just the town that the Flintstones live in. So was there another character named Bedrock? I don't know. I just don't know. Here's the thing though. I also don't care. To avoid, see, that's what I was thinking as a kid, but then I was thinking more recently, I'm like, that was a stupid little kid's logic, because why would anybody think you can't confuse a dude with a town, right? Can you confuse a dude with a town? I can't. It's like confusing, I don't know, a church with a superhero or something. Is this real? Are you fucking with me right now? Was Overkill really the fucking nemesis of Bedrock / Overkill, the nemesis of Bad Rock? Are you fucking with me? All right.
Kind of characters.
Who says
that you
they
draw.
undress?
I mean, there's something they have to get out quickly to save the world, but it takes them an hour and a half to get into all of this stuff if they work fast.
That's right. Getting into the
Straight fucking roasted them, dude. Like, these characters are absurd.
costume is like going.
Yeah, I will say this about overkill or overt kill. Although those mean different things. It's completely different words. You know what I mean? Like overkill, compared to a lot of characters that like that Rob Liefeld in particular created. That's what we're going to get into, by the way. Created. That's the thing, the crux of this whole situation. Compared to a lot of them, if you ever think about like what was so lame about what was Rob Liefeld's characters that he created, and you can tell the ones he definitely created, it's that the names don't tell you anything about the characters. In a lot of cases, right? Especially when you're talking about like, Blood Rock or whatever the fuck, I don't know. You know what I mean? There's just like all these characters that their names don't fucking mean anything. It was like Spider-Man. That tells you exactly what he is. Superman too. But like overt kill, what does that tell you? Well, he's a hellspawn. Come on now. You're being obtuse now. He's a hellspawn. Spawn is just the shortened version of that. All right, I believe it. Look, I mean, I have some respect for Todd McFarlane. As far as somebody who treats the industry treats artistry like a business, he kind of does it pretty fucking well. He's clearly done it while maintaining integrity for his story and his character. I guess if you're into that, I mean, I got out of reading Spawn and stuff, but I mean, a lot of people that still read it say it's fucking great. He's had a lot of great artists working on it and writers too over the years. And then he's got his toy company. He's got his whole publishing line. I mean, he's definitely milked the shit out of Spawn. He's milked it. His books are still $2.99. Well, let's see what happens once these tariffs take hold, baby. We'll see if that's a sticking point. No, it's not a tadpole. No. So yeah. But Rob Liefeld, as we're going to get into, he really does the comics for capitalism thing. Like, look, comic books are part of capitalism. They're inherently linked to it. We have not experienced an industry of comic books anywhere in the world, as far as I know, that's not based on money and profit, right? So I'm not sitting here saying that the two are separate, and that if you're doing comics for profit, then you're doing it wrong. I'm saying that there's a way to do it that maintains a level of integrity for the artistry and the storytelling and even the branding, just like and I think to a degree, Todd McFarlane's been pretty, good at keeping it to making money, clearly still doing it and sticking to, having some integrity. Rob Liefeld has done a lot of the opposite, and we've already done this before, but we're going to go into it again. We're going to look at the history of Rob Liefeld being a chud, because that's what we're going to get to with this a little bit later, is that Rob Liefeld, along with Bo DeMaio, they're straight up chuds, and I think they're going to be Comicsgate pretty soon. Thank you, man. Thank you. I think these guys are going to be Comicsgate pretty soon. Look, Rob Liefeld has been essentially on the verge of being a Comicsgater this whole time. The only thing that's kept him from it is that he's rich, or at least he was. Maybe he's not anymore. I don't know. But for the longest time, the guy's been a millionaire since he was like 18 years old. And that's the only thing that has stopped him from, and the fact that also he still was getting work with Marvel. Now, as we'll look at, he claims he's not going to be working with Marvel anymore. I don't know what his money status is. Maybe still a millionaire. Who knows? But I think if he sticks to actually not working with Marvel anymore, because he figured out that people don't fucking like him, right? Nobody likes the guy. Nobody in the industry likes the guy. I'm betting he ends up Comicsgate. That would be interesting, man. That would be fucking interesting. That would be legitimately interesting. Anyway, yeah, let's finish watching Stan Lee fucking burn these guys.
Going to the bathroom in comic book, you never show it, but you assume that Superman and Batman and Spider-Man actually do go and urinate every now and then,
You're
right?
right, but you never do show it, do you?
No.
But you do show, very often you show people getting dressed, especially women. I seem to recall that now.
Yeah,
and
no.
then. You draw hands? Are you into hands? Rob?
Damn, he's just like, oh, y'all draw these ladies getting naked and dressed and stuff. Just these subtle burns, man.
Oh, yeah, I'm the best.
You do hands?
But why don't we give them here wires coming out here, coming down up?
They love that
the kids
stuff.
love wiring.
The wires
yeah,
that he'll
they do.
trip
Why
over
don't
when
we-
he's
Oh,
running.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, god damn it. Stan. We need you. Come back.
Yeah.
Hey, you draw good wires.
Oh,
Does he have a double identity? Is he really a meek accountant in real life?
who else could he be besides Overkill?
Well, I mean, when he takes off all these clothes, is he a
I
97
do
pound
you see
weakling?
him taking rough fist? Okay.
Okay.
His thumb. He would have 3 different cannons
Different,
that are
okay.
facing you for the large kapui. So right here, they could be like missile launchers or whatever, but he's gonna have those right over here.
What
And this
makes you
guy's
make
alive,
those
too.
value judgments? Why only 3? He's got 4 knuckles.
'Cause-
the reader's
And then
crazy.
this-
Why does he have more on that side than that side?
No.
Okay, here we go. Yes. Thank you, dude. You were MVP for the stream so far because you named all the characters that I couldn't think of. These are the. What do these names tell you about these characters at all, man? They're just like Rob Liefeld didn't get that the character name should be descriptive of the character to some degree, and he's just like, "What's a cool word?" Like, shaft. Like a dick shaft? I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know. Grizzly. I mean, I guess that could be descriptive. Sure. Riptide? Did that character, what is Task? Battlestone. Troll, okay, to a degree, sure. Foreplay, come on now. Like, what does Foreplay do with Shaft? Do they get together? Does Foreplay hook up with Shaft sometimes? I mean, it seems like Shaft and Foreplay might they might go well together. I don't know. It's just what I think.
For the sake of our unseen viewers, is this really the type of thought process that you guys go through when you
Yes.
create characters?
Except for we have more than 20 minutes.
He's like, is this really the thought process you guys are?
This is probably longer than you usually
We do.
take. Well, I think I've got to say seriously, which isn't easy for me to do, but I think it's very impressive that in a matter of 20 minutes you guys could come up with something like this. I mean, bad as it is, it's still impressive
Holy
that you were
shit,
able to do it.
dude! Holy shit! Bad as it is, I cannot fucking believe that he said that shit. Stan does not give a fuck right here, dude.
As it is, it's still impressive that you were able to do it this quickly.
Well,
Yeah, that's a cool logo. That
Rob,
is really
didn't you
cool.
promise that you would draw and we would do the talking? And when
sorry,
you
I'm
grow
sorry.
up a little more,
Okay,
we'll let you in there with the grown-ups.
God damn, dude. God damn. Rob, when you grow up a little more, well, it still hasn't happened yet, Stan. I hate to inform you. Up there in, I don't know, wherever you are.
when you were creating characters, Stan, what was the process back then? I mean, because Rob and I right now, we do our own writing and our own drawing. We don't collaborate with anybody.
Oh, is Todd trying to come back a little bit right here with a little bit of fucking like, oh, you had to collaborate with somebody to make a character. That's what it seems like he's doing. Let's see how Stan retorts.
Anymore. So
That's the problem, and I've been meaning to talk to you guys about that. Boy, he is one grim-looking guy. There's no way this man can move. He's got to have a power to defy gravity, I would say, just looking at
He's a
him.
tank. I mean, what do you think?
Now, the funniest thing would be if you say that these are jets and he's a
He didn't even fucking take the bait. Stan did not even take the bait. He just goes right back into fucking trolling him.
fastest man alive. That and the way you have him, we've got to justify all of this paraphernalia somehow.
Okay.
I don't know that you're really doing my character right.
I don't know that you're really doing much. Holy shit.
For a bunch of beginners.
Overkill
I
him.
just want you to, we have a minute
Oh,
and a
with
half
the
or so.
foot.
I want to tighten those feet.
Okay.
All right, guys?
Okay. Give him an A.
Oh, fucking Rob sees his life pass flash before his eyes. Oh God, he wants me to fucking tighten up the feet.
Bone here, an ankle bone here.
No, absolutely. I want to make sure that that's known that like they're not even in the same fucking league, man. The only reason that they are even, in this video together or ever thought of together is because they both came up and got famous at the same time. That what they did, to give credit even to Rob Liefeld, even to Rob, and to a lot of the artists back in the day who in the early 90s and shit that were, varying degrees of talented. The thing that they did was they brought a fucking kinetic energy to comics that just had not, reached that level before. Jim Lee, Silvestri, Rob, Todd, Eric Larson, all these guys were doing shit that was like, they recognized that there needed to be a paradigm shift in the style of art, and that they couldn't keep doing things. We didn't, because for the longest time, especially Marvel, but DC to a degree, DC had started breaking out of it already. But like, there was like this kind of, Sal Buscema, fucking, model of character that a lot of artists really didn't deviate outside of that design very much for, several decades. And then here come these guys that were like, no, let's fucking, like Todd said, let's fucking put Spider-Man's foot in front of his face. Because he could do that. He can do that. He's a Spider-Man, right? He's so fucking limber. Let's put his foot and his knee up over his fucking head. Let's have his, just like that. It presents this fucking energy, this kinetic experience when you're reading the comic that, and it's breaking out of panels and stuff like that. And, that it was just fucking novel at the time. And there's a lot of stuff that's still based on that style of art. Like they definitely were pioneers in that way. But they, to varying degrees within that energy, they had different levels of talent. Todd had a lot of raw talent that he started really refining with Spawn and stuff. Rob, he's refined his skill level, I guess, to a degree. Like his stuff looks better, like it looks cleaner now if you look at his stuff. But you can still tell he hasn't worked on his problem areas. Like he hasn't improved in some of the main things that have always stuck out about his art being shitty. Right, yeah, the rope style webs with the knots in it and shit. Yep. Hell yeah. So yeah, I just want to get that out of there. That like, I understand the reason why, it's not like Rob was just accidentally swept up in this with these other talented artists. It was kind of lucky, and I think that probably there was a lot of people that back then that saw, especially like, Todd, that would probably looked at Todd, that looked at Rob and his art style and probably knew that he still had a lot of refining left to do with his work. And assumed that he would, right? Like the older young guns back then who were, because Rob was by far the youngest, but like, they're all in their like 20s and 30s and shit like that. They probably looked at Rob and said, okay, this guy's got a lot of work to do, but he's got this raw potential. The problem that happened for Rob Liefeld is that he got rich, like almost instantly. Basically, he became a fucking rock star. He's got fucking jeans ads, Levi's jeans and all kinds of shit. And everybody knew who he was. He was on MTV, and he became personified with this era of comic books that, as you should well know, is the most profitable and, pop culture affecting era of comic books, at least prior to the jump to cinema. So, but yeah, he just never fucking, it's kind of like, he just never got better, man. You know what I mean? Like when you make a fucking $1 million for doing exactly what he was doing, what reason does he have to get better? Now, I mean, some people might have more personal integrity than that and recognize that just because I got lucky and made a bunch of money doing this doesn't mean I need to stop getting better. but but Rob Liefeld is not that person. The kind of person that Rob Liefeld is, as we're going to find out, is lazy. He's fucking petty. He's got very little fucking. He's not self-reflective. He's just a dipshit. Let's finish this.
I think it takes you longer to sign your name than
Heck
draw
yeah,
a picture. You know?
it is. I'm going to step out, okay?
Incidentally, you guys have ruined us. We've decided to give up comics and we're going into showbiz.
Was that Rob? I'm gonna step out, okay? Like, is he like upset? That's one of the greatest fucking video clips I've ever seen, guys. Like, I'm not even kidding. I hope that we all enjoyed that.